If you're like most people I know, I'm willing to bet that you have never serviced these guys. Hey folks, we're back with another video, and today we are going to be servicing Oneup component pedals. These are the aluminum ones. This is a pretty easy job, but once again, a neglected job. Most people I know don't even know that they could service their pedals, and there's bearings in here, and they're serviceable. Many pedals are serviceable. So it helps once a year just to freshen them up. Make sure that no water's gotten inside, right? Make sure that the bearing's in good shape, and basically close it up and enjoy the rest of the season. So that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to break it all down and put it all back together. All right, next up, let's go over the tools. Not that many tools needed for this job. First, you will need some kind of plier, whether it's a channel lock, something that has a squared off edge in order to grab essentially what's the edge of a washer, and to pull it out, right? But it's got to have a good squared off edge. We're going to need a ratchet and a cassette tool. This is how we're going to open it up, with a cassette tool. Very smart decision in my opinion. We will be needing an 8mm and a 2.5 to take off another internal bearing. And then we will be needing grease. I'm going to use Shimano premium grease because, well, it says premium, so it's got to be premium, right? Use any grease you want. That's a hub grease, pedal grease, any waterproof grease, basically. Like I said, I bought this by mistake. I've just used it on, not too long ago, actually, I used it on a XTR pedal. I'm pretty sure it's good enough for a Oneup pedal. You are going to need alcohol, and yes, you will need paper towels. And I highly recommend gloves because, like I said, most people don't service these things, and I guarantee you it's going to be pitch black inside and greasy as hell, all right? So let's start breaking apart a pedal. All right, first things first, we're going to take the washer off on the end, right? Anything we take off, try and clean, because I guarantee you it's going to be, I already cleaned this a little bit. It was so muddy and dirty. Here's a detail that a lot of people overlook. Never apply grease in a place that you could see. In other words, if grease is exposed, it'll just collect dirt like crazy. This thing literally had a mountain of dirt on it, considering the size. You couldn't even make out this part. It was so filled with dirt because of all the grease that was there, right? So I had cleaned a good chunk of it off already. Well, to make this video for starters. But yeah, just do not apply grease on the outside, right? You only really apply grease in areas that you can't see that need grease, basically, right? And in many cases, you just don't need to put grease. So next, we're going to grab our little plier tool, right? Now this thing over here, this guy, you see, is essentially a washer. And he's connected to, he's like a washer, and he's connected to this rubber seal, okay? So if we grab him on the tip, you might have to press in on the seal a bit to get some purchase, right? And then just slowly but surely wedge him out. Like I said, he could be a little bit stiff. Don't destroy the seal. Don't grab the seal, grab only the metal part, all right? So, there we go. All right. Now, before you put it down again, I guarantee you this is going to be a big, greasy, oh yeah, I barely even touched it. So, we're going to clean all this stuff. So essentially here now, what we can do is separate the rubber seal from the metal ring, right? And then we could clean that metal ring and take all the grease off of it. Just take all the grease off of it. All right. Let's put it on the side. Now, if there's grease on this seal, take as much grease off of it as possible. Make sure to clean the inside of this. Be careful with it, but clean it as much as you can. Leave no debris on the inside, or else you won't get a good seal, right? So again, don't grease parts that don't need to be greased, basically. So, get out already. So this thing's sort of concave. Make sure you get inside there, or else you will not be able to get a full seal. And if you ever get in water, water will get in that pedal, and well, that could be a problem for you. All right. So then Make sure to clean it, stick your fingernail in there all the way around and clean that whole groove good. It's almost like a race, basically, right? I can feel the grit. If you feel grit, that means there's stuff there. If you don't feel grit, then you are good. Okay. That's looking a lot better. Next, we open up the inside. So now we need our ratchet and our cassette tool. And we are going to take out this outer ring on the inside, okay? Now this is the left pedal. Left pedal goes counterclockwise. Right pedal is the opposite. You're going to have to unscrew it clockwise. Is that right? Well, we'll find out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, this might be stiff. So just be careful with it. Get some good purchase. There we go. That was right. So left pedal counterclockwise. All right, now this thing is going to be a greasy mess, that I guarantee you, at least inside. I'm pretty sure these particular pedals here have never been serviced. Could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Yeah, that's nasty stuff. So first, let's clean this guy, since we took him out first. Take all the grease off the seat on the inside. And try and take out as much grease off the outside, because that's where the cassette tool goes in. And the less grease and dirt in there, the better grip the cassette tool gets, less chances of you stripping this thing. All right, if you need to, get in there with a little wire brush, which I am going to do, and clean out from in between teeth. Put that on the side. Now we have the axle. Let's see, one greasy axle, which is a good thing. All right, that's our bearing, which we are going to take out next. Just take the bearing, pull it out. Boom. Okay. Let's just clean this bearing quick. So I go with the quick again. I always say quick and I always end up going slow. All right. Done. Next, we will take out this bearing. To take out this bearing, we are going to need an 8mm Allen and a 2.5mm Allen. And basically counterclockwise. On the right pedal, clockwise. This is the left pedal. I'm only doing one pedal in this video because they're both identical. The only difference between them is left pedal, you unscrew counterclockwise, right pedal, you unscrew clockwise. All right. So now we're going to clean the inside of this bearing. Some would question whether it's worth taking off this bearing. I say it is. Why? Because we could put fresh grease in there and that might eliminate the potential of any squeaks down the road. All right, let's put it in there. That guy's clean. Make sure the screw's nice and clean. And we got the screw. So now let's just clean the axle. Make sure we don't got any grease in here. Spin it around a couple of times. And that is good. All right. Make sure you clean your threads real well. If you want, you can throw some alcohol on this to clean it good. Clean the inside here. Make sure there's no dirt that would, impact or allow Allen not to sit right, because, well, you could always strip it, right? Although these 8mm are a lot better than 6mm in my opinion. And now we clean the inside of this guy, which is going to be one big, disgusting, greasy mess. Okay. And basically what you can do for this is take a piece of towel, just like that, corner them, start twisting them, put them in, and keep on twisting until he hits the bottom, then let him expand and mop up all the old crap that's in there. You could also take a pick, which I actually had next to me, and I put it in the toolbox. All right, you will know when you hit bottom. I just hit bottom. Keep on twisting, keep on twisting, keep on twisting, keep on twisting, and pull out. That's not too bad. What we can do, just to make sure that break up all the grease, just to make sure we don't have any debris in there that might cause creaking or cracking or noises in general. All right, we do the same thing again. This guy in. Gotta remember to keep the thing in center frame. All right, we are looking good. Next, well, actually, since we're here, inspect your spikes. Make sure you don't have any broken ones or cracked ones, right? If you do, replace them. The other one is inspect your bearing. Feel your bearing. This one's clean. It should sound and feel nice and smooth. If it feels gritty or it sort of clicks, then it's a bad bearing. Basically, it needs to get replaced. And these are easily replaceable. The bearing size is, oh boy, I need my glasses. Holy cow. The bearing size is, oh boy, I really need my glasses. I don't know what the bearing size is. I'll get you the bearing size. So basically inspect a bearing. This bearing, chances are it's going to be okay. And that's pretty much it. Clean everything, and then we will reassemble. Okay, time to assemble. Now, before we assemble, we want to make sure that our bearing's in good condition. Take your finger, put it inside, roll it around, make sure it is smooth. Any kind of clicking, grittiness, anything that doesn't feel anything but smooth means that it's probably a bad bearing. This one actually has some oil coming out of it. Interesting. Probably grease that went into it, I bet. So it's a good condition, but if you do need to change it, it's a 6802 bearing. All right. So we're going to start off with our axle. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of grease and we're going to put it just on the inside of the tip here. Okay. Just like that. Spread around once. All right. Then we're going to take this bearing, we're going to plop it in. And now we're going to take our screw and we're going to screw it in by hand, always by hand first. Okay. Take our 2.5 millimeter, tighten it down to make sure that we're tightened down pretty good. We're going to take our 8 millimeter in the rear. Oops, make sure this is in the tightening position and give it a good hand tight turn. And that's it. Okay. So now we're going to put grease on the shaft. Actually, before we do that, let's do the bearing. We're going to put a little bit of grease on the bearing. Actually, even better. Let's put a grease on the inside of the race here. Okay. Then we're going to put our bearing on. And that should take a lot of the grease with it. All right. So then we're going to take grease and we're going to put it all the way around. Okay. Then we're also going to put it up and down the shaft. Put a good amount, especially on the tip. Okay. Spread it around. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to take this guy and we are going to put him in. All right. So put a thin coat of grease on the bearing, just like this. Actually, just a thin coat. This is more for protection than anything, just in case water does come in. Just like that. Okay. So now we're going to take this guy. And ultimately, we are going to put him in by hand first, always by hand. take our cassette tool. Let's test them out. Yep, sounds super smooth for now. Now we're going to take this guy, we're going to tighten him down. Okay. Tighten him down, hand tight. There we go. Don't over tighten, don't over torque. Just hand tight. And we have great spin. I feel no vibrations. Sounds smooth. And we are good. Now, we're going to grab a rubber cap and we're going to put them so flat side, tall side stays out. This is going to go onto the inside. So the concave part over here goes towards the inside of the pedal, right? And make sure he's on there. Just like that. Okay. Now what we are going to do is put just a little bit of grease. And again, this is to help leaks if water comes in. Not too much grease. You don't have to overdo it here. This is literally just enough grease to fill up the race on the inside of this rubber seal. Okay, so we're going to take this guy and he's going to squish all that grease down. We are going to put him in and squeeze him down, just like that. Now, grab some paper towel and wipe out all the grease on the outside. You do not want any grease on the outside of this thing. You don't want grease showing. Never put grease where you could see it. Okay, so again, we put grease underneath it in order to protect everything in case water comes in, some moisture comes in, right? The grease will help keep it out. Now let's test it. No side-to-side play. Make sure that you don't have any side-to-side play. And we are good. Got good spin, she feels good. Outstanding. Clean the threads best you can. Again, the better the connection of threads to your pedals. Do the same thing for the inside of the crank arm. Clean those threads in there real well. And then we have our little spacer. And ta-da! And there you have it. We have a fully serviced Oneup Components aluminum pedal. All right, very easy job, guys. Highly recommend that you do it at least once a year, depending on your conditions. If you ride very wet conditions, yeah, do it 2-3 times a year, man. I mean, you don't want water getting on the inside. So that will damage the bearing for sure. So not all that hard. Once you get used to it, you'll do the job in about 10-15 minutes max for both pedals. All right. So if you like the video, please press the like button. It would be very much appreciated. If you dislike the video, please click the like button, the dislike button twice. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos coming, and there are more videos coming. Click the bell, bing, 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 if you want to get reminded when videos get released. Until then, hopefully all is well with everyone, and we will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.